Hey there, what is up you guys? I am Jerry and welcome back to the channel, The Chicago Griller. This is the show where I share my favorite tips, tricks, and recipes for the Weber Q. If you think that I can help you out, hit the like button and subscribe. So it has been a while since my last video and I have to apologize for that. But for those of you who watch this channel regularly or see my community posts, you know that the last 2 months have been quite eventful for me. First, in some happy news, I got married in the beginning of April, so I was away for that. But I immediately tested those wedding vows by getting injured in a skiing accident in Utah and had to have surgery to repair a broken leg. Fortunately, as you can see, the recovery is coming along nicely and I'm able to stand out here on my front deck, but I do have a long ways to go. So despite not being able to keep up with weekly videos, this channel is nearing the 7,500 subscriber mark here on YouTube, which I find phenomenal. Now, I know that a lot of the videos on my channel make the cooks on the Weber Q look super easy, but I assure you, it doesn't always turn out to be the case. And there are a number of times where I set out to shoot a video and have to abort or toss the video because of mistakes that I made. So today, I thought I'd share something a little bit fun and entertaining and show you some of these bloopers and how exactly I learned from these mistakes. Come and check it out. The first blooper that I'd like to share today is the numerous times I've had to reshoot videos due to flare-ups on the grill. I think sometimes food commercials and videos we see are guilty of perpetuating the idea that flare-ups and fire is a good thing on the grill. But it's really not. Too much exposure to flame can of course burn your food, but can also make it taste very sooty. To illustrate what I'm talking about, check out this video from the first time I tried to cook a steak comparison video on my Weber Char Q. My steak that I cooked on the baby Q turned out perfect. But as you can see on my charcoal Q, I was getting some persistent flare-ups while trying to grill up that ribeye. I didn't do a good job of protecting that steak from the fire, so look what happened. One steak was burned, but the other was perfect. Now to be clear, flare-ups are going to be inevitable on any grill. When hot fat and oil drips down onto the burner tubes or your charcoal, that's how you get those flare-ups. What you should do in that situation though is move your food around on the grill so that the fat does stop dripping on the grill's heat source, or just shut the lid and suffocate that flame. Now, admittedly, last summer was the first time I had ever attempted cooking on that Weber charcoal Q, or any charcoal grill for that matter, so I was a bit of a newbie. So what I should have done once I saw that initial flare-up was to move that steak off from over the coals and let the fat burn up. And then I could shift it back over directly over the heat once the flames had settled down. Lesson learned. The second blooper that I'd like to share today is from when I tried to cook beer brats. If you recall from the beer brat video that I actually did publish, the proper way to cook them is to parboil the brats in beer bath for about 20 minutes before finishing them off on the grates. Well, the first time that I tried to fill this, my brats burst on the grill and completely dried out. Not at all appealing or appetizing, right? So what went wrong? Well, the mistake that I made that particular day was the brats I purchased were already pre-cooked, so they really only needed to be heated up on the grill. So in the method that I did end up sharing is you have to use uncooked brats, so just be sure you read your labels. With uncooked sausage links or brats, you could put them in the beer bath, parboil them, and then finish them off on the grill for some sear and texture. Now, the final blooper that I want to share today is when I tried to cook some lobster on the grill. So what happened in this failed video was that when I cut open the lobster, instead of finding white meat, it was orange. The critical mistake here was that I didn't cook my lobster the same day as I purchased it. That's a huge no-no because lobster begins decomposing as soon as it is killed. That's the reason why there are tanks of lobsters live in many grocery stores. So why did I wait a day? Well, I thought I was just being clever and trying to save a trip to the grocery store by not going on back-to-back days. That was silly. I must not be very smart because I've made this mistake with beef and steak before. Although to be fair, beef and steak is a lot more forgiving than shellfish. In this example, I think I waited a day, maybe two, after the purchase of this particular steak, and you can see that some of the fat is starting to turn a greenish blue. Compare this to steak cooked fresh, same day of purchase. Big difference, right? If I showcased a video of that greenish purplish steak, you guys would be clicking that unsubscribe button right now. Now, to be absolutely fair, color is not necessarily an indication of freshness. With steak, shellfish, or other proteins for that matter, you can have a little bit of discoloration and most likely you'll still be fine. What is not fine, however, is if that protein is sticky, slimy, or gives off any odor whatsoever. But in my opinion, don't take that chance. If you start seeing some discoloration or something starts to smell fishy or a little bit off, throw it out. And if you don't think you'll be cooking right away, put that in the freezer. Okay guys, one final bonus mistake that I'd like to share with you, and that is do not break your leg skiing and have to get a very expensive and invasive surgery. That will take you out of grilling for several weeks. Anyways, that's it for today's video, where I shared a number of times where I made a mistake on the grill or in preparation for the grill, and I had to throw out that video. I learned from each one of these mistakes, and I hope that you have too. Thank you very much again for watching today. As always, if you enjoyed the content of this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribed. As I said, I'm on the road to recovery, and I hope that I'll be back with weekly videos going forward. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.